Yeah, just found a band that needed a bass player, and I rang them up and just said, "Hey, I can play guitar and sing. Um, can I come in and show you what I can do?" And they're like, "Oh, we've already got a singer." And I'm like, "Let me just come in and show you, please." And so I went in and then yeah, showed them what I could do. We played a couple of songs, and they're like, "Okay." So the guy that was playing rhythm, because they had just a singer, um, just one singer, and yeah, they were like, "Oh, we don't need you anymore." And then the guy that was playing rhythm guitar went to bass, and then yeah, the drummer was there, and we had a band, and yeah, we did our first show in March of 2004, and then I sort of took ownership of the band, got the gigs and stuff, and really just went with it once it was up and running. And I remember driving around days I was off uni or whatever, off work, and I'd be driving around to pubs with a CD of a performance that we'd done of NSM in, and a little bio that I'd printed out and was handing it out, and to all these different pubs and clubs and trying to get gigs, and sometimes they'd ring you and sometimes they didn't, and
Yeah,
so it was very old school way of doing it, but it was so cool now look back and being like, oh yeah, I actually did that. So,
that's really
yeah, it was
cool.
fun.
So
Yeah.
you're when you did that your first tryout, did you actually dress up in the black, the James
Nah, nah,
Hetfield?
nah,
No,
nah, I
no.
didn't dress up, just just had just with my guitar and just stood there and played and sung and showed them that I could sing and play at the same time, So,
Okay.
um, yeah, and that's when they went, okay, well, if we're going to do it, we need someone that can do that. So, yeah, they sort of said to the other guy that was singing, "Thanks very much," and
Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, it's just evolved from there, and it's became I sort of took over everything of the band, and it was organising the rehearsals and when we had a gig and how it would all run and how it would all work and organizing sound guys and stuff like that, and really delving into a world that I knew nothing about. So a lot of it was just, how do you, okay, we've got a band, but we want to go play somewhere that doesn't have a PA. What do we do?
Yeah,
So
right.
having to figure that out, and um, a lot of it was asking questions, a lot of it was making mistakes, and obviously, as you do growing up and learning different things, and yeah, and that's where yeah, it's just built from there. Yeah, that's really the foundation of it, of how it started.
Yeah.
So,
And then how did you evolve the character of James Hetfield or the performer
um,
trying to mimic that? It's not an easy thing to do, or is it?
well, it's for me, it is because I'd always did it in my bedroom, when
Right.
no one was in there. So
Yeah.
the stance and being trying to be James, but it's as I've gotten older, it's me. That's how I perform, So,
Mm.
um, but I chuck in the yeahs and all that, and I don't do an American accent or anything.
Yeah.
It's it's Clint and it's Denny and Mitch, but we're playing Metallica songs. We look like this, I try to wear the sweatbands and have the guitars to sort of give that little bit of an image of it, and the part, if you squint your eyes, maybe it is James Hetfield, and
Yeah.
but um, but yeah, we still be ourselves.
Right.
Essentially, like, I don't put on an accent or anything like that, and
Yeah.
um, yeah.
And the Sydney music scene, I mean, you've got your cover bands, you've got your disco, you've got all different types of styles and that. How has Damage Inc. Well, firstly, how did you get the name? And then how is it like fitting into that Sydney music scene?
So the name came up with there's a whole bunch of names, and I know Metallica did a one of the first secret gigs that they did. They called themselves Damage Inc. So we're like, well, let's
Oh.
call ourselves Damage Inc. Maybe people might go, maybe it might be Metallica, and turn up.
Right.
So, and it was we sort of thought if we could just get them through the door, we once they're through the door and they listen to us, if they go, oh, it's not Metallica, okay, but these guys are all right, and then they might hang around. So that was the reasoning behind the name, and it's a good song.
Yeah, it is a
um,
very good song. Yes.
yes, and then the Sydney scene, yeah, it was. There wasn't many tribute bands around then, as there is now. There was a lot of cover bands, but not a specific that a band that sort of followed just the one band and tried to sort of
Right.
mimic what they did. So it was hard where people were like, "What do you do? You only play Metallica?" And I'm like,
Mm.
"Yeah, that's it. What do you do for what you just for 2 hours?" And I'm like, "Yeah." People come and watch that, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, well, we'll think about it." But it was a lot of it was seeing where a lot of bands performed that maybe were a bit hard, had like a hard rock theme, and then
Right.
seeing those venues that they played at, and then trying to get into those venues,
Yeah.
and trying to, and then they're finding out that you'd had to be able to get into these venues, you'd have to work with an agent or a manager because they essentially only were the people that booked that venue.
Yeah.
So, and then trying to get an agent and or a manager or someone to help us look after that side of the booking of gigs and so on was quite tough. We really didn't get anyone till I think it was about 2009. So for
Right.
all those years leading up to that time, it was just me doing it, and then anything outside what that manager or agent would find, like if we went to Melbourne, for instance, it was me doing it, So
Right.
um, contacting these venues and or other bands, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we've got a spot, and come if you guys come down, well, you guys can headline or whatever, or you can play before us." And I'm like, "Yep, okay," and just had to make sure it worked logistically, and obviously there's a fair amount of time, travel, and money to do that. So we've put in the hard yards, definitely,
Definitely.
for that stuff
Yeah.
back in the day. So now it's sort of come to the point where it's a bit easier.
Yeah.
We're with a touring company and they look after us and
Right.
um, help out, make that stuff so much easier. Like I'm not having to worry about flights. Like we know everything's sorted when we get there, and I'm not having to worry about we're on a Jetstar plane and how many kilos have you got in yours, and because there's been times where we've been stung at airports and we've been running late to try and get on a plane, and they're like, "You're 7 kilos over. That's like 400 and something dollars you need to pay right now, or that bag's not getting on." We're like, "Oh God,
Damn.
yeah." And there goes our whole sort of money that we made that we were going to split the $400 to go to pay
Yeah.
for luggage to get back on the plane.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, like I said, there's been a lot of mistakes. When you first do the stuff, there was no one to sort of show you the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Bit of
and
trial
so
and
we
error.
sort of had to, yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
now it's funny that I've had a lot of tribute bands ring me and go, "What do I do? How do I do this?" And
Ah.
and I'm just like, a lot of the times I feel like saying, "Sort it out yourself," but I'm happy to help. I'm still putting them in the right direction with things
Yeah.
um, and, and help them get to, because a lot of that stuff can take away from, like, if you're needing to go perform somewhere and you've had a really bad car ride or you're late somewhere because of the trip wasn't organized properly, it just makes it so much harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know I know how hard it can be. So yeah, I'm happy to help those people out. So
Yeah.
um, it's like I said, it's only through having made those mistakes and getting it wrong that you know what the right things to do. So
Yeah. What is the key then? What's the key to Damage Inc.
persistence.
staying together for 22 years? It's like if you've ever been in a band before, it's trying to get three or four people in the jam room and the recording,
Yeah,
and you got to deal with family and all that. So, what's the key? What do you
definitely.
think?
Well, it's persistence and having people that understand and being accepting of the others in the band. Like you just got to stay mates.
Yes.
Like if it's that's what makes this so much easier. I've been in a original band before, and people fight like arguments over ideas, and I'm just like, "Oh, it's too hard. This shouldn't be this hard."
Yes.
And then I think because me looking at the that the music's there already. You're not fighting over trying to get your ideas in or whatever. It's essentially the same as what I do when I was growing up, just sitting playing in a room, but I'm with my mates and we're
Yeah.
playing songs that we love to people. So if you
Yes.
keep it just that, you don't take yourself seriously, thinking that you are James Hetfield and you are Metallica and all that, but you don't take yourself too seriously, but you put in enough work and work hard to make it authentic.
Yes.
Keep its authenticity without taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah, right.
That's when people. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
Um, that they understand it. They can go, okay, this guy doesn't take himself too seriously, but when he does get up there, he gives his all. You know, he gives 150% of himself. Like after shows, I'm gone. I'm done. Like I've stood up there for. We've done shows that lasted 4 hours.
Wow.
You know,
God
and
damn.
from start to finish, of we've given 100%. So being lucky along the way with members. Really not having, sorry, say a no dickhead policy, where if you've got someone that um, might not know the might not be the best guitar player, but they're a really good person. That's the
Yeah.
person you want in your band, because that really good person is going to put in the work to learn to do the work. Rather, you got someone who can like noodle and shred, and they're not fun to hang out with. Then you're like, because you're stuck in a car, you're stuck in a plane, you're stuck
Yes.
together for however long entire weekends, and that would make it so hard. But we've never had anyone that's quit over. We've had different members over the years, and people have had to leave the band due to work commitments. They've had to move different states, different countries,
Yes.
and it's always been like, oh, I'm sorry, but you know, I need to move and I can't be in Damage Inc. anymore. And it's just like, well, man, you're always part of the family,
Yes.
and we've just been lucky enough to find. Well, I feel like just lucky enough to have the the people that are in the band. Their capabilities are far beyond mine, and sometimes I need to just pinch myself at the guys I'm in a band with to say these are my bandmates. Like Danny, Mitch, and Brad, at what they do, they're amazing. They're
Yeah.
just freaks. Like you probably would have seen what Danny can do on guitar. Like
Oh
he's
yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. And to be able to call that guy a bandmate and say he's in my band,
Yeah.
like I'm just like, wow. Like
Yeah.
and it's so great because it's helped me having those guys who are at that level of playing. It's helped me too. I've had to step up my game because we're trying different things. With the symphony thing, like I was pretty scared. Mate. I can't be like, oh, play this scale of solo and know it. You know what I mean? Like I'd need to sit down and learn it. And but these guys helped me with different things along the way. Um, yeah, it's just so cool to have such good people in and such amazing musicians and have them in this band, which make
Absolutely.
it's just yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. It's so difficult. And
It is, it is, man.
for you to do it for 20 years plus is just absolutely incredible. You spoke about it earlier about being in original bands. Are you ever going to do that? Does that tempt you to do that, or are you just happy to just play in the Damage Inc?
The I'm happy to do damaging because I don't want it to take away, my time. But there has been times where we've spoken about, hey, what if we wrote a song that Metallica didn't write, and a song that got left off of puppets, and
Right.
then we've just always been too busy to do it. But there has been a few times where someone's had a riff and we've played something, and there are seeds there, and we did want to do that for our 20th anniversary show. We play a song that Damage Inc. had written.
Right.
It didn't obviously eventuate just because we had so much going on around that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but it didn't eventuate. But there are, we haven't sort of crossed that path for a while again. But maybe down the track, it is something that might be cool that we actually release a song in the style of, Metallica, of what we do, and it's based around of the. It's a song that Metallica didn't write off Master of Puppets or a certain album, So and sort of have it sound that way. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's definitely another thing on our list that we're waiting to tick. So
Yeah. And that's great. That's so cool that you've got other things planning. Do you have a road story? Do you have one road story that sort of stands out and goes, "Oh yeah, that was funny
Yep.
or incredible"?
So
Tell me, give it.
it's nearly every time. Every time we go somewhere, there's a story. Something happens, like
Yep.
a plane breaks down or something. Like the first time we went to Perth, we left from. We just played a gig in Adelaide, and we were flying over to Perth. This was sort of in the middle of COVID, where people were coming out of quarantine and stuff like that. Like there was no restrictions and stuff. But then as we were flying into Perth, as we were landing, they changed the rules because COVID had back up again. And because we came from outside of Perth, we got arrested in Perth and held for 4 hours and had to go quarantine and weren't allowed to play our show.
Damn.
So, yeah, that was just like, what is going on? Like, and they're like, oh, you came from Sydney. Well, we came from Adelaide. And like the police were there, like, they signaled us out. Like as soon as we landed, they're like Clint Lovering, Dubkowski. They started saying our names, and we're like, "What is going on?" And yeah, we ended up not being able to play our show. And nearly every time we travel, there's something that happens. Like there's something that you're like, "What?
Yeah.
What is going on? Why didn't that work?" or whatever. But whether it's cars. Being ready. Like usually we travel if we play in a state, we've got a care carnival. We've had times where we've rocked up and they've just given us a smaller car and we can't fit our gear in the car, and then we're like,
Right.
what do we do? So um, yeah, just trying to figure it out on the run, and yeah, we've always been able to figure it out. Other than
Absolutely.
that one time in
Right.
Perth, but yeah, we've
Wow.
always been able to figure it out and make it work.
There you go.
Thinking on our yeah.
And you talk about that with the gear. Tell us just very quickly what gear you're using at the moment, like what equipment, guitars and amps and.
Yeah, so amps, we don't actually use guitar amps. So we have digital modelers. So
Mm.
whether it's just our pedal boards, or I use a Line 6, what is it, Pod X3. So it's like from the 1990s, but it gives me the tones that I'm after.
Yeah, right.
And like it's got that Hetfield clean tone on it, which I've been able to find and nail for the live clean stuff. Where sound guys see that I put it down, and they're like, "You using that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Dude, just wait till we start playing, and you'll get it." And then, yeah, we start playing, and then they're like, "How are you pulling those tones from out of that thing?" And I'm like, "Because I've sat and fiddled with it so much, and I am so sort of obsessed with that sound that I know what it sounds like, and like Hetfield's tone, and I could do it the easy way and go get a fractal and get those exact tones that he's got. And
Yeah.
but I'm proud of this because I heard those tones and I made that in this Line 6 Bean pod that I use. And yeah, and the guitars, it's just usually one of the Hetfield signature models.
Oh, yeah.
Or I've got a new Flying V that I've got from the '70s, which sort of replicates his Electra Flying V.
Oh, yeah,
But anytime he's like got like something like a Papa H sort of inscribed in it, I change it to Papa L. So
yeah.
so yeah, sort of make it a bit more my own. And if he's
Very good.
yeah, some things that he does on his guitars, I'll do the same, but put my twist on it and sort of make it similar. And yeah, so we're pretty lucky we use these modelers, so we don't actually have to have amps on stage. We don't have to worry about power cutting out in the amps or fuses going or tubes going in the amps.
Yeah.
And the with that, you're able to get the same sound every time. So you're not like it's not like a tube's blown in a guitar amp and it sounds a bit weaker for the night. So it's consistent. It creates consistency. It's easy to lug around. It's easy to carry in our luggage, and it's easy to set up. And then
Yeah,
it creates more space too, because we don't just stand there. We run around a lot and move around.
right.
So it creates more space that you don't have. You're not worried about knocking over an amp
There you
or
go.
anything like that.
And
Yeah,
they're buggers, those Marshall amps or Mesa Boogies or the quad amps.
yeah.
They weigh a
Oh
ton.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Trying to lug those around is just yeah not happening. Not on a plane anyway.
Are Metallica doing that as well? I have heard rumors. I don't know if it's true or
Yeah,
not.
so well, for the in the round shows that they're doing, they are just using the fractals, and I don't think there's any cabinets that they're coming out of. Maybe there's some underneath the stage that they're sort of isolating
Hmm.
for sound wise, but when they do the stage stuff, which is what they're going to be using when they come to Australia, there are quad boxes on stage which do have music, the guitars and that coming out of them.
Right.
Um, but they're not fake. But I think a lot of it's just they probably wouldn't really hear it unless they went right up to it. And
Yeah.
yeah, they went right up to it. They could feel the air. I think James has said he likes feeling the air coming off a quad box
Right.
when
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he's
yeah.
playing. So
Because I
yeah,
can like being in front of Kurt's guitar tech and seeing all his guitars. It's so cool. So cool to see. And then he has all these stacks there. He's got like a Mesa Boogie one, he's got a Marshall one. So yeah. But I have been told that they don't use the quads. But anyway, that's interesting. I don't know if that's a secret or something
no.
like that. That's
No,
um
I think a lot of the guitar nerds already know that they're using the fractals,
okay.
and they've been able to emulate the tones a lot, um,
Yeah.
really close to what they use. So
Right.
there's videos online that they can emulate the Injustice for All tone. Like
Wow.
digital modelers these days are just it's a easy world to be living in because you can create sounds like Kempers. You can sample a sound of an amp, and then that'll capture that sound and emulate it for you. So when you go play, you're getting that sound.
Wow.
So it's
That's
just
so
it's an
cool.
amazing time to be alive with all these
Yeah.
digital modelers that are out and about and make things so much easier.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
if you're going to do something, be passionate about it, and if you're going to be passionate about it, um, follow through on it. Don't give up on yourself, like because there are times where stuff does go sideways and does go wrong, but if you're passionate about it, stick with it, and the passion will help you drive your drive to see it through.
Great,
You know,
great.
that's from my parents. My parents always taught me that growing up. Like, well,
Yeah.
if you're passionate about it, do it. And there wasn't ever a lot of times that they stopped me from doing anything where if I wanted to try this, they're like, yep, we'll help you do it. But if you want to be passionate, if you want it to be, if you're serious about it, be passionate about it and follow it through. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's something I've always done, and I try and tell my kids that.
Yeah.
So
And if
yeah,
you were to go back and see a 12 or 13-year-old Clint, what advice would you give him?
just it, let it happen. Don't just whatever happens will happen, and you'll end up at the point it'll just take a little longer, but you'll end up where you're envisioning, and you will achieve those goals. So just stick with it. It's you create these opportunities just by being present.
Yeah.
Being in front of people, and just keep turning up. Um, don't give up. Don't give up. There are times where you just like things just like, oh man, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. But
Yeah.
that's the moments where you have the breakthroughs where when it does work, you're like, oh, thank God I didn't give up.
Yeah.
So just don't give up. That's all it is. Just being persistent with everything and just keep going, just keep grinding, and
Yeah.
it'll happen. It'll come.
Yeah, and you talk about that. I mean, you've got two daughters. Is that correct?
Two daughters, and we
Yeah,
just had a
yes.
son who's now nearly 4 months old, little
Oh,
Rex.
congratulations.
So thank you, mate. So
That's
yeah,
incredible. Is it difficult to balance that? Obviously, with a new baby, now you got three kids.
not really because I've got an
Okay.
awesome wife. Makes things easier.
Yeah.
We're supportive of each thing that we want to do because this is essentially another job. We look at it that way where, okay, dad's got gigs lined up, and if there's something on that the girls have, I try and be there, even if it's I've got a gig that night. I work around it to make sure I'm there, and then go to soccer with the girls, and then I'll go get on a plane and go do a gig, or if I need to be back in time for a swimming lesson on a Sunday, make sure we leave early enough from for example, Melbourne, that I get home at 6 o'clock in the morning, never know my eyes are hanging out my head. Dad's still there, you know. Even though that Dad flies all over Australia, Dad's still as present as he can be in helping out. Um, because it's not only helping out; I hate missing just
Yeah.
the littlest thing that they do.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
want them to be able to say, "Dad was always there," you know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just being present and having an awesome wife that understands that and helping each other out and yeah, been very lucky because I know some things can be hard for some people with that and not being understanding. So I'm very lucky.
Yeah. Have the girls seen the show or have they listened to Dad play?
Yeah, I listen to Dad play all the time. My
Yeah.
littlest Ellie, it's so funny. They see a Metallica shirt and they're like, "Oh, Dad, look, he's that guy over there is wearing a Metallica shirt." And I'm like, "Oh," he's like, "Does he know who you are?" And I'm like, they she hasn't made the connection yet that Demi Jink and Metallica are two different things. She thinks they're
Yes.
the same thing at the moment. So,
Yeah.
but but yeah,
So
they know who
cute.
Metallica is, and they know who Metallica is, and they know what Dad does, and um, I'm always encourage them to play and sing, and
Oh, that's great.
and do anything that they want to do, and
Yeah.
it's so funny. There'll be times where I'll start singing a Metallica song. I'm like, what Metallica song's that? And oh, it's Enter Sandman, or but yeah, it's just so funny. They're so good. They know they've got their favorite songs like Ellie loves Fuel and Demi loves Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters, and they both
Fantastic.
love Inner Murata, funnily enough.
There you go. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Deep,
which is
deep cut.
cool.
Deep cut. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Social medias, Clint. Where can we find you for our Australian and international listeners?
So for Demi Jink, we've got Demi Jink Australia on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. That's the handle, Demi Jink Australia. So it's pretty simple. Personally, it's just my Instagram handle is Dad's Bods. So Dad's. I don't might have to change it to Clint to make it a bit easier. But yeah, you can follow us on the socials. Hit us up. We always answer any questions and messages if anyone's got any questions about where we're playing or how to, if they've got any questions about bands or anything like that, we're always happy to help. So, yeah,
There you go. And I noticed you played at Newcastle. You played at King Street. Now, King Street is normally like a nightclub and a DJ. How did that fit
yep,
in? It must have changed now. Have a
yeah, that was, yeah,
Metallica.
it worked well. It was good. We had a
Okay.
great crowd there. So,
All right.
like we'll play any venue.
Yeah.
We've played breweries. We've played like at museums and art exhibitions where they've had like a art exhibition on Metallica in Jakarta when there was a riot and stuff like that. And they're like, it'd be so good if you guys could come play and then play those songs that Metallica played so people could really
Wow.
understand how sort of aggressive some of their songs can be and how it can make people feel when that music is played live and properly. And we're like, okay. So when we played in this big space with these art exhibitions, and there was someone downstairs who was um, in wrapped up in barbed wire and didn't have any clothes on because that was part of the exhibition downstairs when we're upstairs playing Master of Puppets full ball, you know. So we'll play anywhere, man. Like we've
Wow.
we've played some crazy spots. We've um played some venues that are so country that there's sheep just at the back of the stage or cows just hanging out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But that's what I respect about your band, Clint, that you're playing everywhere. Got a lecture, and that's the Metallica thing. Well, maybe not now, but before they used to say if they had electricity at the venue, we'll play there.
yeah, yeah, definitely. If you anything you turn down, you're missing out on an opportunity.
Yeah, to
Like you
get
never know
just
what's going to happen when you go there. You never know what's going to happen. It could lead to something else,
yeah, absolutely,
whatever that may be. So
absolutely.
yeah.
All right, Clint, we're down to the last bit. First one's always music, so it's tough, and I know the first answer, but as of today, who are your top two or three favorite bands of all time?
So that would probably be Metallica. Would be Meatloaf. Some Metallica just because they're my favorite band and the diversity in what they have and what they do and the songs and lyrics they hit me and I feel like I understand them where you probably feel the same. You feel like you have
Oh yeah.
like they're speaking to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so and different things, different people interpret different things from them. So um, yeah, whether there's a song like Outlaw Torn and it's about feeling about missing somebody and I relate that to myself about missing people, that have
Mm.
passed or whatever it is. So there's that. With Metallica, I'd say Meatloaf, just because of his passion that he had, you could see it when he performed. And as a
Mm.
performer, I try and do that as well. Like you see when I'm singing that it's not just I'm singing to try and hit notes. I'm singing because I feel it deeper than just my throat. Like it's my whole body's feeling this passion of singing about nothing else matters because I relate that back to my family. You know,
Yes.
I think about my family when I think singing that song. So, um, the passion side for Meatloaf, and then funnily enough, the third band would probably be Tenacious D or more so Jack Black.
Yeah. Okay.
Just his ability to sing and once again the performer side of him to have a
Yes.
bit of comedy in what he does. Because there's times on stage where something might not go right or something might go like we had when we played a symphony show. Um, I actually had a lady throw her bra at me and it got stuck on my headstock, and then because it got stuck on my headstock and it was in between songs where I was talking to the crowd, I had to I had to mention it, and I was sort of was undoing, and I said, as I threw it back in the crowd, I said, "And thanks for coming, Mum," and threw it back into the crowd. So, um, so yeah, that where he's just able to think of things like that off the cuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah, and he doesn't
talent.
take himself too seriously. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a talent, but it's hard to do something on the spot that's funny. Yeah, that's good.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I look at that side of um, what Jack Black does. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, definitely Tenacious D.
All right. What about albums? So we'll have two parts there. We'll have your top three favorite Metallica albums, and then your top
Yep.
three other than Metallica.
Okay, so top three Metallica albums would be, I'd say Master of Puppets is my favorite. Then the Black Album, then Ride the Lightning. So Master of Puppets, just the songs, and it's got the song Master of Puppets on it, which I think is the best Metallica song. Like if someone was to say to me, what who is Metallica and what is Metallica, I'd play the Master of Puppets because it's got the speed, it's got the harmonies, it's got the clean, it it's got the aggression and slows down and speeds up, and then the down picking and
And
Meatloaf. So
yep,
that would
yep.
be the first album.
Yes.
That my number one album that isn't Metallica. Secondly, I would say um, probably the Aussie's Greatest Hits album. I remember having that growing
Nice.
up as well, and it was just something that just played over and over and over, and it had Black Sabbath songs on it, and it had Ozzy Osbourne songs on it, um, and just to learn where all this started from, where
Yeah.
Metallica learnt their, trade. So, um, and just how catchy some of those Aussie songs are, like the riffs in them just play are so catchy. It's amazing. I love it. Um, then thirdly, the I'm I'm probably going to say to the Tenacious D first album,
Yeah.
um, because of Jack Black's singing
Right.
and he's a. I think a lot of people don't understand how good a singer he actually really is,
Yeah.
and his ability to sort of fluctuate his voice to high and bring it straight back down again. Um, Singing that album in my car a lot really, I learned how to sing and do that myself. So it's taught me a lot in singing. So that's why I would put that album as number 3, and once again, just some really catchy songs that are funny and are great as well. So,
Awesome. Uh, what are your two or three favorite songs to play live?
that does change a bit, but always Master of Puppets because everyone knows that song and getting them to sing it. So, um, Enter Sandman fluctuates between 2 and 3. For me, it sort of changes, but depending on the crowd, whether the crowd really gets into it, then it'd be number 2 for Enter Sandman, and then number 3 would be Nothing Else Matters because when we do that live for the first half of the song, we do it like Metallica did back in the '90s, where it's just
Oh,
me,
yeah.
a guitar, me, a
Right.
guitar, and the crowd. And there's been times where the crowd is singing louder than what I am,
Yeah.
and it
Incredible.
gives me my hair stands up on the back of my neck. It gives
Yeah.
me goosebumps. So, um, yeah, so that would be the third one for sure in there,
Incredible.
2, 3. But those 2, 3 change around a bit.
Yeah, just quickly, I don't know if you saw or you listened to the podcast. I talked about when I was in Madrid last year, and it was the last show of the European tour. And when they played Nothing Else Matters, there was a couple standing next to me in the mosh pit, and the boyfriend got down on one knee in the mosh pit and proposed to his wife while nothing. That
Oh
was
wow,
that was her favorite song, and he got the ring out, and there was people crowd surfing in the background. It didn't bother
wow,
him, and he just yeah got the ring out, and she said yes, and they were crying. I was almost tearing up as well.
yeah,
It's like this is just so beautiful. Like
of
they're
course,
at
yes,
their favorite band, their favorite song. What a perfect moment. So,
absolutely,
who's your
yeah, yeah.
greatest inspirational hero and why?
I'm gonna say family. So the people that I'm closest with, my mum, my dad, my sister, my wife, and my kids. My immediate family. Um, because having to put up with me, that's they're doing a good job. So, but the things that my parents went through growing up, they had the greatest of upbringings, and they've been able to work their butts off to be able to have, I think that, especially my sister and myself, some really good, great kids that are stable and being able to do some really magnificent things. Like my sister's played baseball for Australia.
Wow.
Um, so, um, yeah, and
What's
if
the
they've been
name?
able to achieve Tani Lovering,
That's so cool. I used to play
which is
baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan. I played baseball in Australia as well.
um, I think the highest they ever got. Obviously Japan's really good. And,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think they played them in a World Cup final. I think it was. I think they might have come second or third, but obviously they got beaten. But yeah, she's tenacious in what she does. So being able to see her achieve that, and my parents have worked hard. It's everything about me that I try to teach people, or in my kids, is work hard.
Yeah.
If you work hard and um, things will come.
Yep.
People will see that you're a hard worker because there isn't a lot of hard workers around anymore. People sort of shy away from that. So my mum and dad epitomise that, and I'll be forever grateful for the hard work that they did when I was growing up, which made my upbringing so much easier because they worked hard. I was able to get things that I wanted, and nothing was ever too expensive for something I wanted or whatever. They say, okay, well, if you work hard for it, we'll help you get it, and they always did. And yeah, so I've been lucky.
The other one would be my wife. She's yeah, we what she's been able to achieve. Like she had a tough upbringing, and she's been able to she's a midwife and something that she always wanted to be, and she's been able to achieve that. And once again, hard work. Yeah, she's a midwife, and back in 20 after we got married in 2013, we lost our first son, and being a midwife and knowing all those things that were happening while she was pregnant, and then still being able to go on and have three other kids was, she's very inspirational. And from that, she's been able to turn that into being able to teach people about loss and how to deal with it, and how to accept it, and be a support person. She's done podcasts, and she's been in magazines where she's spoken about it. So how tough she really is,
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. There's such inspiring words, and I love hearing great stories. All the best with your upcoming tour with Damage Inc. And we're finally getting Metallica to come back to Australia
finally,
after all these years. Finally.
yes,
So,
yes,
going from the last show that I saw them play in America, they were so happy. And when a happy James is a happy James Hetfield is a happy Metallica.
yep,
So I hope that they bring that to Australia, and I'm sure they will. Going to be some rocking shows, I'll tell you.
gonna be amazing, gonna be amazing.
Yep. All right, Clint. Thank you very much for your
Well,
time, and
cheers.
I'll catch up with you in November.
Sounds good, mate. Thank you.